When English ships first touched the shores of the Charles, Boston was a wilderness of uncertainty. In the coming months, forests were harvested, houses were built, and an unorganized web of narrow roads and intimate paths started to form. Not before long, the country's first public transportation system, a network of cart horses, ferried Bostonians through increasingly busy streets. And in 1889, when urban trains began to emerge, Boston, America's Athens, was quick to adapt. A decade later, the MBTA was formed, making trains, buses, and trolleys ubiquitous in Boston. For the first time in the city's history, rapid transportation became accessible to thousands of middle-class families. As the MBTA has expanded over the last 2 centuries, many more communities in eastern Massachusetts have gained access to Boston.
Today, the MBTA bus system is the 8th largest in the country and facilitates over 350,000 trips per weekday. However, Boston's notorious traffic limits the full potential of the bus lines to serve its commuters. As the most congested city in the US and the 9th most in the world, it is clear that we have a problem. Single-occupancy vehicles are at the root of this issue. In 2017, about 38% of Boston residents drove alone to work. Census reports indicated higher rates for the following years, suggesting that it's only set to grow. For there to be hope of a cleaner Boston, we must work to reverse these trends.
Hello, my name is Alameda Adiyeri.
And I'm Julian Wise.
To achieve carbon neutrality, we need to gradually make Boston's bus routes more efficient. Starting with the 39, we will implement a ban on cars during high traffic hours, which would mean that from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and from 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m., private household vehicles would not be allowed on Center Street, South Street, and South Huntington Avenue in Jamaica Plain.
This is the right plan because when implemented, its outcomes will align directly with the transportation goals set in the Go Boston 2030 report.
It would not only incentivize alternative modes of transportation in place of single-occupancy vehicle use, but it would also encourage car use outside of peak hours. In addition, over time, as the number of commuters via bus goes up, it would mean that the source of revenue that buses represent for the MBTA would increase, meaning that new investments in technology can be financed.
In terms of logistics, our plan also makes sense. Largely, we'll be using pre-existing infrastructure and resources.
Thus, we will keep costs low, while also setting the basis for cuts in carbon emissions. As Boston's population increases, the number of cars is set to increase as well. We seek to reverse this trend.
About 29% of Boston's emissions comes from the transportation sector, and about 70% of that comes from private household vehicles. If we're able to expand our bus system across the city and convert 50 to 75% of drivers to bus or transit commuters, that's a 10 to 15% reduction in emissions right there.
Incrementally, we will shift Boston's mindset and ingrain sustainability as a staple of everyday life, working towards carbon neutrality starting from today.
We envision it to look a little like this.
Here's Boston today.
There's traffic as usual, commute times are long, and our days are being delayed.
But in 2020, this is going to change.
Working with officials, knocking on doors.
We'll spread the word and get the public to buy in.
In 2021, starting with the 39, we'll see these changes in action.
Jenny's bus runs efficiently without cars congesting the roads.
She saved 7 minutes on her trip to school, and this is just in the first year.
The service doesn't just work, but it gains support as well.
People want to save commute time, so they opt to leave their cars at home.
Individually, they choose to take the cleaner, faster route, helping the city become greener.
And as public buying grows, we'll be able to expand more and more routes across the city.
Which means that more and more people will be able to efficiently advance through their days, getting back time that was previously spent commuting.
So that collectively, by 2050,
we will reach carbon neutrality.
And the MBTA will play a fundamental role.
It will pave the way.
It will set the tone
and declare to the world,
one road at a time.
Boston is going green.